Let's talk about Sweden. I moved here 5 years ago from Warsaw. I moved to Stockholm, to be specific, and I actually didn't do a huge research about that. I made a spontaneous decision that would be nice to move here. I was before in Gothenburg once to visit my friend, and I really liked it there. People were super nice and very friendly, and I was like, why not to move? I mean, well, maybe if you know a bit about Poland, then you know what might be my reasons to move. I'm not gonna go into that. But the things that I knew about Sweden are basically that people are very tolerant here, that no one cares who you are and what you do. Just everyone minds their own business, that maybe people are a bit shy, that there is a really nice nature here. What more? By the way, I'm looking at my notes because I made a list. I told some of my friends from Gothenburg that I am thinking about moving to Stockholm, and they were like, oh my god, don't do this. It's like so crowded. People are like, touching each other in metro, and it's like horrible crowded. I thought it's gonna be like Tokyo of Europe or something. And spoiler, it's not. So it was quite funny to see the perception of the city from someone from Gothenburg. And so for your information, I think Stockholm is the biggest, of course, city in Sweden. And I think after that is Gothenburg. For capital, it's really not big and really not crowded. So don't expect Stockholm to be crowded if you are about to come here. Let's jump to my list that I made. I will share 3 things with you that made me surprised, I guess. I didn't know about that, and I think this is quite interesting. So stay with me. So when I started to work here, my boss went on vacation on, I think, first week that I started. And she gave me a list of things that she thought that I might be able to do during her time off. And I think she was off for 3 or 4 weeks. And so I got this list, and I just moved from Warsaw. And before I was working in agency, so you know how it goes. It's quite fast. It's like a small factory there. So I actually finished the list within a week, and I didn't have anything else to do. So I quite early learned that work pace in Sweden is quite different than in Poland, and I think in many other countries in Europe. You start to work at 9, around 9, and then work till 12, and then take 1 hour lunch break with your colleagues, and then you continue working till 5, 5:30, sometimes 6. They say 6, but from my experience, I don't think that Swedes are working till late hours. And there is a Fika break almost every day in the office. I mean, now, during this times when you work from home is different, but when you work from the office, there is like a lot of breaks, and it's not really like sitting and working, being super focused. People chat, people come to your desk, and But Fika, talking about Fika means break for coffee with some kind of cake. It's this whole concept about it. It's very important for Swedes to take those breaks and spend quality time with their friends and family, colleagues. So what you do is basically you drink extremely dark black coffee that is almost burnt, without milk and sugar, and if something sweet next to it. I am drinking coffee now, and it's cappuccino, I think. Maybe it's latte, I don't know. I drink a lot of milk, but you don't drink coffee like this normally in Sweden. I mean, in every office, coffee is for free, and by the way, these Fika breaks are kind of sponsored by your boss, which was quite weird for me when I came from Poland. So, going back to coffee, if you want coffee in Sweden, like I do with milk, you will have to probably ask them to make it less strong. Their like latte or cappuccino is extremely dark and bitter, so I tend to ask for less dark coffee, and sometimes it's undrinkable. So let me have a sip. Yeah, so we covered Fikas, very important. You talk about summer plans and then boats and all of this during those breaks. Very important stuff to talk about boats, remember that. A work-life balance is extremely important for Swedes. What I noticed also about myself after 5 years, that I am really protective over my free time. So here no one would call me on my day off or when I am sick. That's just not gonna happen. This is extremely unprofessional and no one's gonna bother you on those days. And also speaking about being sick, I don't know about your country that you are from, but in Poland when you are sick you have to have a note from doctor almost, I think, second day or third day of your sickness. I actually don't remember. But in Sweden you have 2 weeks to go to the doctor. So if you are sick for first 2 weeks, you don't have to give anything for your employee. They just trust you. And after 2 weeks, when you are sick, and I guess when you're sick for 2 weeks, you will have to go to the doctor. You have to get a note, and that's fine. For me, it was just mind-blowing that you can just trust someone like this, and I was sure that everyone, take advantage of this, but I don't think so. I think just people are fair and they trust each other, and that works. That was surprising. Next very important thing about work-life balance is your summer vacation. And I am not talking about regular 2 weeks vacation that people tend to take during, vacation time. No. In Sweden, you take 5 weeks off of vacation at once, which means whole offices are closed for summertime. If you are planning to take vacation like week here, week there, and you want to travel around throughout year, that might be a problem, because if your office is closed for this time, then you will be pushed to be off too. Swedes take 5 weeks off, sometimes even more, and they basically go to their summer houses in Sweden, where they spend time with their family and friends, swimming and really not thinking about work at all. And I think that summer is very special time in Sweden. Like, everything is empty, even some coffee shops are closed, and everything is so lazy, and everyone's enjoys the sun, because the weather here is not the best. So we don't have so much summer here. So whenever there is sun and we can take advantage of it, we just go on vacation. So I am now the same. I take my vacation during this time. Sometimes I try to take a bit less if possible, and then take another 2 weeks during winter time. But in general, there is a lot of vacation in Sweden, and work-life balance is important. Let's talk about darkness. My friends from Poland warned me about that. They said oh, you're gonna get depressed. It's so dark in Sweden. It's dark 24/7 almost. And this is real. I mean, it is dark here during winter time. One thing that I've noticed in the beginning, and I wasn't sure what it is that people tend to stand in the sun when there is any sun during winter time. And they just stand and close their eyes and just take the sun. And I, in the beginning, didn't know, what's happening, why everyone is stopping whatever they are doing and standing on the sun. But now I do the same. So people stand in the sun to, take their vitamin D. And speaking about vitamin D, everyone supplements here vitamin D since I think September till beginning of spring. Photos that you just saw were photos of my project that I shoot about people taking sun breaks in Sweden in winter months. So I hope you liked it. And there is another part of darkness that I actually enjoy. Stockholm is very cozy during winter. You can find small lights in every window, in every house. And even though it's dark very early on and there is so little sunny days, the lights are very like cozy and Christmassy, and I really like this time. And probably what you can notice as well, that there are no curtains in windows, most of the windows, and that's normal here as well, which was super surprising for me. Like, you can look inside houses, and in the beginning I was looking a lot and I was like enjoying myself and looking, oh, what they have inside. But now I am used to that. But in the beginning it was quite weird, and actually now I don't use curtains either, so you know, walking naked around the house, normal. Let's go into the last point, which is renting an apartment. Big topic, a bit unpleasant, unfortunately. As you know already, I am from Poland. In Poland we rent apartments all the time, and not everyone buys apartment. Many people just rent all their life because it's expensive. So I was used to rent apartments for like a few years, and you can just, you know, live there, furnish it, and there is no problem. Actually, it's harder to find apartments for short time rentals, but here it's a bit different. If you want to get a first-hand contract, you have to stand in a queue for that. And that's like for people who live in Sweden, in Stockholm, they can get this kind of contract after, I don't know, I think more than 10 years standing in a queue, and that's great for them because they can sign for the queue when they are young and get it when they need it. But when you are immigrants, you don't have this option really, so you ending up renting from second-hand, which is very expensive. So to give you perspective how expensive that is, apartment in like central Stockholm, 2-room apartment, I mean nothing super fancy, normal like this, can cost around 20,000 crowns. And to give you more perspective, it was more than half of my first salary that I had in Sweden as full-timer, not as a freelancer. So it's quite expensive, and if you are living alone, that might be a problem, and you might go outside of the city. But this is not the main problem that we have here with renting. The main problem is that the contracts that you get are between 6 to 12 months long, which means that you will end up moving quite a bit. I moved, I think, 7 times in those 5 years, and just last year I moved 3 times. And this is annoying. And that's why people buy apartments here, because if you have a stable income, the interest rate from the bank is quite low. You can afford taking a loan and pay it back and just have apartment for longer time. But what is something that really surprised me about Sweden is, as an apartment owner, you have to ask for approval from the board of, let's say, the building. It's not only the building, but you have to ask about approval from the board to rent out your own apartment, which means that you have to have a reason to rent. You can, for example, go abroad, and that's fine. For this period you can rent it out. But if you have, let's say, 2 apartments and you want to rent out one of them, you have to really justify why you're not selling it, why you're keeping it. Not only that, when you already have approval to rent out, they have to approve the person that you are renting apartment for. When you are looking for apartment to rent, it can take up to 1 month to just get approved. And then you might end up not being approved, or maybe you are fine, but let's say that the apartment owner won't get approved and you cannot do anything about it. It's crazy. It's really hard to rent apartment here, and I think that's the worst part about being here for me, to be a bit of this negative side of Sweden. Like, it's really, like, you know, stressful to move 7 times in 5 years. It's also very expensive to, you know, move your furniture and stuff every time, and it's just annoying. Yeah, that's why people buy apartments here, and I understand that fully. So, yep, you reached till the end of this list of things. I think I covered most of it. Let me know what you think. Did something surprise you? Let me know in the comments what do you think. I mean, there are many more things that surprised me about Sweden, but I didn't want to make this yet another 20 minutes long video. Or maybe it is 20 minutes long video already. Well, we will see after I edit. I hope you enjoyed the break from design related content. I think that it's nice sometimes to share how other people live in other countries. For me, it's at least always quite interesting. So I think I'm gonna cover more Sweden related topics. Let me know if that's something that you enjoy. Yeah, and that's the time when I tell you to give me a like and subscribe. That's always so weird to say. But anyway, give me a follow on Instagram. I am active there, as you probably noticed if you follow me. What more? Well, I wanted to say something, but I forgot. And I wanted to say sorry for my hair. I'm going to hairdresser in 2 days, so probably next video I'm gonna look like human again. Alright, so hope you had a good time. See you later.